Welcome to Bits Be Trippin'. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, Mining Rig Build Part 2. Real excited to bring this one to you guys. We went ahead and put 4 of those R9 280Xs, got a nice Asus motherboard, a couple nice power supplies. This is your host Carter. Let's get into this. Now what we have here is open air box. We showed the build in part 1. This box here really can handle up to 6 cards. In this particular configuration, we went ahead and went with 4. Looking to expand that. Had a little trouble with using a couple of the slots here, so what I wanted to show here is we have 7 total slots on this board. We use slot 2, slot 4, slot 5, and slot 6. So 2 of the 16X with powered risers, 2 of the 1X no power on those risers. I wanted to highlight that piece out for you. For this particular board, these are the slot configurations that worked the best. We had a few freeze ups, so switching different slots. A couple of those 1X slots didn't work when a 16X was in it. Still researching that piece of it, but this configuration right here, 4 cards, this motherboard works like a champ. Now, fun fact, powered or not powered risers did not matter for us. Obviously, if you're not powering them, the motherboard has to power that riser, probably putting a lot more strain on the motherboard. We left them powered, but we tried them both for several hours both ways, didn't see any difference. No change in hash or nothing. In this particular rig, we decided to go ahead and try something different, go with 2 different power supplies, an 850 and a 750 Corsair. This configuration allowed us, one, to do things a little cheaper in this particular build. The 750 and the 850 combined was actually cheaper than buying like a 1500 watt nice power supply. Also, we wanted to test to see the load on each independently. The 850 supported the motherboard and the RAM and the CPU and 2 of the cards, and the 750 supported the other 2 cards. As for the remaining pieces of this build, for the motherboard we used a Z87-Pro. That's from Asus. Great board, very stable, hardly any issues, came with Wi-Fi built on. Highly recommend the board, no problems. We used a SSD, cheap, it was like 69 bucks. It was 120 gig, uses like 5 watts of power, real nice with fast drive. For the CPU, since we're not doing anything else besides hashing with this thing, we went ahead with an Intel Pentium G3220 Haswell. I mean, it was like a $59 processor, real cheap, more than fast enough to get this thing up and running quick, and obviously cheap. That's why we went with that. And finally, for memory, we used a Corsair 8 gig kit. It was we used just one of the 4 gig sticks out of that. We split those into 2 different machines. We only need 4 gig for this build. Single slot, works like a champ. Now, looking at the kilowatt with just the 850 on it, we were using about 750 watts of power. We did plug that in. I don't have it in the video here. Into the other 750, it was using about 553 watts of power with the 2 of the other R9 280Xs running full out. So you're looking at about 500 watts for the 2 cards, 520 somewhere around there for 2 of the cards, and then you're looking at around 250 for all the other components and hardware that's around the box. Now in this video here, we can see all 4 of the cards hashing. Very consistent, all right around that 730 mark. You do always have one kind of outlier out there setting sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. In this particular one, our GPU-2 was showing just a little less. We did swap those into different slots. It just followed with it. It's the card itself using the same BIOS, same drivers. It's just the way the card was running. Shows you some of the mechanical inconsistencies. That's pretty normal. I think a lot of people on here will probably attest that that's pretty indicative of what they see. Didn't matter if we had the heat down or not, still ran pretty consistent like that. So the cards worked, I mean, remarkably. We ran this for more than 24 hours straight. I mean, this thing ran for literally, I think, like 5 days straight. Never got turned off, ran like a champ, held that 730, 750, total 2.8 kilohash. We were running between Dogecoin to Litecoin, Feathercoin, you name it. I mean, we tried all the different coins out. We'll throw the configuration down in the lower area of the channel to show you that what config we found the best to work with these R9 280Xs. These Gigabyte cards. that were very consistent no matter which coin it was, and leave some comments below and you know, spread this knowledge, get the video posted to other people, and see if this helps somebody else out there. Now, coming up in our next video, we're going to do a deep dive on those R9 280X Sapphire Toxics. These things are sick. They're fast as hell. They run a lot cooler than a lot of the other R9s that we've been messing around with. I'm real excited to bring that to you. We'll get into the configuration, the settings, they light up cool. I mean, you name it, they are the shit. Real excited to bring you that. Hope you guys subscribe, tune in, tell your friends, like us, share us, you know, spread us. We'll bring some more badass hardware for you right around, you know, the hashing and the configuration and everything, Litecoin, Bitcoin, you name it coin. We get this represented. Thanks again for checking us out. Catch you next time.